Have you ever wondered who this character is? The knight on the cover of Elden Ring is speculated to be Vyke, Knight of the Round Table, also known as Festering Fingerprint Vyke. Knight Vyke was a fellow Tarnished who battled through the lands between, following the Greater Will's grace in the hopes of one day becoming the next Elden Lord. It is said that no other Tarnished was closer to the throne of the Elden Lord than Vyke. He, however, failed at this quest and instead was swayed to accept the Three Fingers and the Frenzied Flame. His fingerprint-singed armor states, "Without announcement, Vyke traveled far below the capital and was scorched by the flame of frenzy. Did he make his choice for his maiden, or did some other force lure him with suggestion?" So what exactly happened to Vyke, and why did he fail where we end up succeeding? If you have not already, please consider subscribing to my channel down below. YouTube has kindly let me know that over 84% of my viewers are not subscribed, so I would greatly appreciate it if you considered doing so. Thank you to everyone who is already subscribed. In addition to being a fellow Tarnished, Vyke was a part of what's known as the Ancient Dragon Cult. The Ancient Dragon Cult was a faith-based cult that arose after the War of the Ancient Dragons. The cult was very secretive, and little is known about it today. However, it is thought that Godwin the Golden directly or indirectly started the cult. Long ago, Godwin the Golden defeated the ancient dragon Fortisax and befriended his fallen foe, an event that gave rise to the ancient dragon cult in the capital. Even if he did not start the cult, Godwin most definitely participated in it, as described by the incantation Death Lightning, incantation that channels the power of the ancient dragon Fortisax. It is said that this golden lightning was wielded by Godwin. The Ancient Dragon Cult often is confused for the Ancient Dragon Communion, but despite their similar names, they are not the same. One of the biggest differences is in how the incantations of each are bestowed upon members. In the Ancient Dragon Communion, one must consume raw dragon hearts to access the power of their communion. Whereas in the Ancient Dragon Cult, one must be beloved by a dragon to utilize their lightning abilities. As described by the Dragon Bolt Blessing, a superior incantation of the capital's Ancient Dragon Cult. Only those loved by dragons can survive the ordeal of cladding their bodies in lightning. Knight Vyke did not simply dabble in the Ancient Dragon Cult. He appears to have been a very active and important member, even having an incantation named after him, Vyke's Dragon Bolt. Incantation of Vyke, Knight of the Round Table Hold. Of all the knights, Vyke the Dragon Spear was the one Lanciax loved the most. Lanciax was, in fact, a dragon. Lanciax's glaive describes her as such. Lanciax was the sister of Fortisax. It is said that she took the form of a human to commune with the knights as a priestess of the ancient dragon cult. Both she and Vyke's lightning is red lightning, which means Lanciax may have taught Vyke personally how to harness the power to perform the ancient dragon cult incantations. I do believe that Lanciax loved Vyke, as both a dragon and a human priestess, even bestowing him the name Vyke the Dragon Spear. It's complete speculation, but it makes for an interesting and tragic romance. Vyke may or may not have reciprocated her feelings, but nonetheless, their love would never be. Vyke was set on his journey to pursue the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord, and Lanciax can be slain by the Tarnished just outside the capital, on a hill south of the Rampart Side Path Site of Grace. It is one of the many forbidden love stories of the lands between that end in tragedy. Knight Vyke would continue his journey until stopped by mysterious forces and convinced to travel deep below the subterranean shedding grounds. It is there he would seek out and accept the Three Fingers Embrace. This is where the timeline gets a little muddy, but at some point after this meeting, Vyke would return to his quest and journey to the mountaintops of the giants. It's unclear if he would have been successful in burning the Erd Tree, but this wouldn't matter anyways, as Vyke would become imprisoned in the Lord Contender's Everjail. The reason why it would take place after meeting the Three Fingers is because of his drop. Specifically, once defeated in the Everjail, Vyke drops his fingerprint armor, iron armor singed and blistered by fingers. It seems someone imprisoned him there in an attempt to halt the frenzied flame from destroying everything through Vyke, as seen in the frenzied flame ending when we choose to accept the three fingers. This is, again, total speculation, since there is no hard, concrete explanation as to why he is locked away, at least none that I could find. Another curious aspect is that Vyke can also invade you on the path to the Church of Inhibition, just north of the Frenzy Flame village. This version of him is known as Festering Fingerprint Vyke. Here he uses Frenzy Flame incantations that cause madness buildup. The word festering refers to something that has become infected or rotten and has become increasingly worse over time, which could be a nod towards Vyke becoming infected with the frenzied flame. Vyke's war spear explains, like Vyke himself, it has been tormented by the yellow flame of frenzy from within. This vengeful spirit of Vyke also seems to be guarding the church in a way. Inside it is a dead finger maiden who sits in a chair, covered in her own blood. Some speculate that this could have once been his finger maiden. Her cause of death is unknown, with many speculating her taking her own life after witnessing Vyke's fall into madness. Or perhaps she was slain by another. It seems that tragedy and death plagued Knight Vyke's journey. Ultimately, he would not become the Elden Lord, failing at his ambitions as so many did before him. Now, from this point on, this is total speculation, but I believe Knight Vyke was someone who started out his journey like many others, with good intentions and a hope to change the world around them. As a member of the ancient dragon cult, he was obviously open to other faiths besides that of the Greater Will and the Golden Order. Perhaps he believed it was broken and was yearning for a new epoch to begin, seeing himself as the one to lead the lands between into this new age. He may or may not have been in love with Lansseax, but ultimately knew that they could never be. And so he journeyed on to become the Elden Lord until stopped and manipulated by Shabriri, the same entity that stops and attempts to manipulate us. Shabriri obviously preys on people's emotions, focusing on guilting the tarnished instead of using logic or reason to convince them. Quote, "You are about to sacrifice something precious, the life of a fair maiden, that you would toss into the fiery forge, only so that you may be Lord. What a horrible thing to ponder. Your ascendancy requires her sacrifice, whether she wishes it or not." It wouldn't be difficult or too far a stretch to think that Knight Vyke would also fall for Shabriri's tactic, thinking it righteous and just to sacrifice himself instead of his maiden, the very one he still guards even after going insane. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up down below. I also want to say a big thank you to all of the new subscribers. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers, so I'm feeling very grateful to you all. And a quick announcement from me, if you'd like to support the channel in an additional way, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/ahumanjusticar. It's greatly appreciated, but never expected. Thanks again, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Bye!